The 867th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com and use promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 867 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Gumby Tomi. What's her name again?
No, we were up to Hera.
Yes. We'll tell you why very, very shortly. I am one of your hosts. I'm so brain dead today. It wasn't quite 5 minutes, but I sat there forever staring at my screen, trying to remember what my current name is. Of course, it's Tony Mustard. How can I forget that? AKA Jeff Fox. The title may say that we're covering KSW today, but really, this is the gloating Gumby episode. My co-host Daniel Gumby Vreeland has plenty of gloat about. I don't know where he wants to start, but you can begin. It was a good weekend. I'm surprised you showed up with all the money you won.
I mean, we don't have to break down UFC stuff. This isn't a UFC episode, but for those coming here for takes on regional MMA, we gave out 15 picks last week. 2 cancellations, 1 draw, and then only 1 loss.
A draw, yuck.
And then only 1 loss total. And that includes our plus, was it 475 Nawira Fahera hit at?
Yeah.
And she got a 30-25 scorecard. It was 30-25, 30-26, 30-27. Just straight domination the whole time. She looked amazing. And of course, if you would listen to our LFA episode, you too could have been in on 420 or 475. So
seems like a lot of people did, Gumby. You got a lot of slaps on the back virtually.
Yeah, there were a lot of people sharing with me their bet slips and stuff. So congratulations to everybody who cashed that big one. We probably won't get anything close to that big this week on KSW, but this is kind of a fun card.
Yep. We do have odds for this one, right? The PFL ones haven't dropped yet. Maybe they'll drop before we record. Excuse me, tomorrow. But yeah, KSW odds have dropped. I don't think there was anything super wide off the top of my head.
No, all real close stuff.
Yeah, all real close. And you said it's a fun card in your eyes?
I think so. There's some fighters who I enjoy watching, at the very least, which makes it fun.
Excellent. That's all. Actually, no. I was going to say that's all that matters, but no. Winning money is all that matters. Winning money is all.
By the way, we're up to 35 units on regional MMA this year.
There you go.
Plus 35 units.
Almost enough to get rid of all the haters, Gumby. Almost. Not quite. It'll never be enough until you're 100.
There was somebody hating on my UFC Nashville picks before I even put them up.
Yeah, he only went 11-1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so. I only missed one.
And that was a gimme. You missed a freaking layup too. That's the thing.
No, because I hit on that prop though too. Because I picked Lauren Murphy plus 3.5. That was my prop of the week, and she wound up cashing on that too. So we cashed even on the only one I lost.
Yeah, it was very much a glue factory night in the UFC, other than the main event, because Derek Lewis is too tough to go to any glue factory. You're never going to put that man down. All right, we are going to KSW time. After, I remind you, you can listen to every podcast episode on this network for free just by subscribing to the SGPN feed. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. And I apologize if I sound a little echoey and I look a bit different. I am at the podcast studios far north, not just north, but far north, where it was almost 120 in the sun yesterday. So it may be north, but it's still damn hot up here. All right. I don't know what the temperature's like in Olsztyn, Poland right now. Probably fairly nice, but that's where we're headed for KSW 108. Soldaev versus Brichta. It wasn't originally called that, but it's called that now. It's originally Kuczmarski. This is going to be a good episode, Gumby versus Brichta, but main event fell apart, so we got another one on the go. All right, let's dive into this here, shall we? All right, Saturday, July the 19th, 12 noon Eastern Time, Olsztyn, Poland is where it takes place. KSW 108. What is that insane noise I'm hearing, Gumby? Do you hear it too?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think you might be having a stroke.
Possibly, yeah. Sounds like race cars in my head, but that's good. If no one else hears it, then fine. I knew I was crazy heading into this. If you want to go to the event, Hala Urania in Olsztyn, Poland is where it's taking place. We are starting things with this is the names on here is going to be outrageous. We got Poland versus Poland event. Dawid Kuczmarski versus Michal Guzik. That was kind of easy. I'm easing into it. They're Polish fighters, both of them. They're fighting at 170. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds. And as I told you, we have odds. You've seen the odds, Gumby, right?
I've seen the odds on everything.
Ooh, okay, that's fine. Guzik, 5-1, 1 knockout, 1 submission. He's never been finished. 1-1 in KSW. He did lose his last bout. He went 1-0 in pro boxing, 3 inches height, 7 inches of reach over Kuczmarski, plus 115. 6-0 for Kuczmarski, 1 submission, 1-0 in KSW. Submission win in his last bout. He's fight at 155. 6 years younger than Guzik, minus 150.
I'm going to kick off the regional show this week with an underdog. I like Guzik here. I think the big piece for me is, so like both of these guys seem to prefer wrestling. Marcin pretty much just does so anytime he backs his opponent up against the cage. Like as soon as your back touches the cage, he's like, oh, this means I have to shoot. He doesn't throw punches there. He doesn't do, like, it's just like if your back is close to the cage, he's like, there's like a trigger that goes off in his head and he like has to shoot on you. And like, it's fine because like that's clearly what he wants to do anyway. Like he likes wrestling, but like it kind of does make his hands sort of limited because he like blitzes and he throws like lots of, you know, I guess they're combinations. He throws hook in on like a wild entry and it gets the guy back against the cage and then he's there where he wants to wrestle. But like if he had unleashed a little bit more on the feet when guys' backs are against the cage, like he'd probably do a little bit better in terms of the striking. He'd probably open it up and make his wrestling easier too. And that's kind of the problem I have with this too, is that like I don't think his wrestling is good enough to get Guzik down. He himself wrestles pretty well. He's actually got some like nice wrestling counters, like both, you know, either sprawling, getting his hands inside, but also just like he hits switches and stuff like that. So like he's got all the things that I think could make Kuczmarski have a lot of trouble with that. And then from the striking standpoint, I think he's a lot more fundamental. He's tall, he fights long, he lives behind his jab. He like does the things you should do here. So as long as he doesn't get suckered into a brawl with Kuczmarski or like really botches the takedown defense in a way I didn't think he, you know, I don't think he will. I kind of think Guzik here at underdog money is a pretty good play.
Okay. I approve. Jumping right out of the gate. You know what I decided I'm going to do secretly? I'm just going to make secret picks just based on research and vibes without watching film. I'm going to see how I do.
Vibes picks.
Vibes picks. I'm not going to tell anyone my picks unless I end up obviously. If
when
making a killing, then I'll tell.
We should do it behind the scenes and see how it does. And then,
exactly. I don't want to show you up, Gumby. All right, because I know this is it for you. This is your big thing.
You think you could buy your way to a 35 unit?
Maybe. You never know. No, I wouldn't pick enough dogs. So you're right. But still, this is your thing. I don't want to take away your thing, Dan. Even though you took away UFC's my thing, and you're ahead of. You don't want to talk UFC, but you are ahead of me officially now.
I know. I kind of figured. I knew I was close.
Yeah.
Well, I only missed one fight in Baku and one fight in Nashville.
That'll put you ahead quick. Yeah. Yeah. So anyhow,
especially when there were 4 underdogs last night.
So maybe I will reveal it if I end up doing it. Because you're taking away my UFC expertise over you. All right, we're going to the big boys, Gumby. Why aren't these guys main events? Big boys have to be in the main event. Matheus Scheffel, you may remember him. Like Troy McClure, you remember him from such places as PFL. Used to fight. He is from Brazil. Michael
and Dana White's Contender Series too,
right? Contender Series. Who do you lose to, Gumby? I'll ask you it right now.
Azamat Murzakanov. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that guy hasn't really panned out yet. He's got to stop doing drugs, I guess, right? He was a drug suspension, right? I believe. I think he was, right?
I think you're thinking of Rizvan Kunia.
Right, maybe. I'm sorry if I'm slandering him. This is the last episode of the podcast. We're going to get shut down now. All right, Scheffel, Michal, Martínek. He is from the Czech Republic. 3-5 rounds. I'm sure we have very high-priced lawyers that can take care of things for us. This one is pretty much a pick-up. We're going to tell you about Scheffel first. Bufa is 18-12 with 1 no contest, 12 knockouts. He's been knocked out 10 times, submitted once. He's 1-2 in KSW, 1-3 over his last 4, 1-4 with 1 no contest over his last 6. TKO loss in his last bout, 2-3 with 1 no contest in the PFL. 0-1 in Contender Series. You know who he lost to. Regional champ, 2012 pro MMA debut. Used to fight at 205. 2 years younger than Martínek, an inch taller, 13 pounds heavier based on their last weigh-ins, minus 110. Blackbeard, Martínek, 11-6, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted once. 2-3 in KSW. He's won 1 of 3. 4 of 6. So both guys could use a win here. He did get TKO'd in his last bout as well. He went 0-1 Contender Series. Also, who did he lose to?
Oh, Martínek.
Mm-hmm. I knew it now. It's already out of my brain. I'm going to have to look it up again.
Yeah, you're going to have to put the intern on that one. That one's not going to come to me.
I remember seeing it last night, and I've already forgotten. Chuzhigaev Nascimento.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so at least a guy who lasted a little while in the UFC. He was the Octagon champion, Martínek was. 4 inches reach over Scheffel, minus 120. So pretty much a heavyweight pick'em. Pretty much every heavyweight fight should be a pick'em, really, when it comes right down to it. After the results last night. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah. Weird stoppage in that fight, too.
Yeah, that was.
I'll take it.
He cheated to get up, so I'm fine with it. Because he had to drag himself up by the cage, but still, he was fighting back. But anyhow.
Yeah. Anyway, this is not a Derek Lewis podcast. I'm going to take Matheus Scheffel in this fight. I went back and I watched some of his, kind of, right? He's negative 110.
Yeah, it's a dog.
I went back and I watched some of his fights at heavyweight, and my initial instinct is he looks terrible as a heavyweight. He really belongs at light heavyweight. He's pudgy, he's not in good shape, and all that kind of stuff.
He's no Vitor Petrino, is what you're saying?
No, Vitor Petrino went to heavyweight the right way, or possibly the way that's going to get him
caught. I was going to say that. Will we see him fight in the next few years? We'll have to wait and see.
So jacked.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, so he just doesn't look good at heavyweight in the first place. But on the other side of things too, though, is the problems he's had at heavyweight were mostly wrestling based. He's had trouble with Juan Adams when he was in PFL in the wrestling of Juan Adams, but I don't really think Martinek's gonna try to wrestle him. He too would rather just strike. And then from the striking standpoint, Martínek is much wider with his strikes. He's not to the target. He's a little bit slower than Scheffel. Scheffel, for as big as he's kind of gotten and out of shape as he's gotten, his hands are really still fast. His hands still kept up with everything. So I think that's good. And then Martínek also does a lot of I wrote it in my notes. I wrote risky head movement, which to me, he clearly wants to take his head off the center line, but does so in a way that sometimes makes him more hittable than if it was just on the center line still. He sticks his chin way forward, and it's dude, you're gonna get hit there. And so he's moving it, but maybe should be moving it differently than that. And so I think Scheffel is eventually going to catch him with one of those. And I think the fact that you don't have to worry about wrestling in this one too should make you a little bit more confident with Matheus too. So I'm going to take Scheffel and pick him because it was pretty hard to pick.
Yeah, there you go. All right. We got 2 underdogs. So one big one kind of underdog. But hey, we'll take any kind of underdogs we can get. I'm not going into underdog ad read sadly right now, but I'm going to tell you about Circa Million and Circa Survivor instead. Think you know a ball? Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Gumby's even interested in that much. Even after his big weekend, he can still use $21 million. There's no rake. So if entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Million, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even the Circa Grandissimo, a $100,000 Survivor contest. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada. Shucks, you have to go to Las Vegas. But once you sign up in Nevada, you can play from anywhere thanks to the SGPN's official proxy. So go to footballcontest.com and use our promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. I'm so excited. I'm talking so fast. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. And they will have these KSW lines up very shortly if they don't already. They probably do already. KSW drops early. So head to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. All right. Just going to have more doggy dog. Maybe this will be an all dog episode. Who's to say, right? Don't tell us, Gumby. Don't tell us yet. People have to stick in till the very end. All right, we got another Polish versus Polish fight, which means I'm going to have some fun with the names. Adam, I know that. I have a son named Adam. So Adam needs weeds.
Niedźwiedź.
No, he needs weed. Adam needs weed. Niedźwiedź versus Adrian Zieliński. That's an easy one too. 170. There, fight yet. That would be light. That would be welterweight. Zieliński, 24-14, 9 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted twice. 0-2 in KSW. So he's lost 2 straight, and he's gone 2-3 over his last 5, 4-5 over his last 9. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get our gear at sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He's fed at 145, 155, 2010 Pro MMA debut plus 130. What's his name again, Gumby? Niedźwiedź. You can call him Niedźwiedź. Niedźwiedź is his nickname. 10-4-1. 1 knockout, 9 submissions. So he's finished everyone, and he's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. He owe us rounds, damn it. 3-1-1 in KSW. He's won 2 straight and gone 3-0-1 over his last 4. His past 2 wins, both via submission. He's not lost since August 2020. He's fought at 185. 2014 Pro MMA debut. 1-1 as a pro grappler. 7 years younger than Zieliński. 3 inches taller, 4 inches reach, minus 175.
Yeah, I can't believe this isn't more than negative 175. This is my favorite spot in the whole card here is Niedźwiedź. The bottom line is he's just too good of a wrestler for Zieliński. So Zieliński is a guy, if you go back and you watch all of his fights where he's lost, it's clear that he's just got an issue with wrestling. Like he gets taken down super easy. My biggest problem is he settles into the position he's in. Even when he tries to get up, it seems like he does so in like a risky manner that like gives up his back. I just don't think he's there wrestling wise and actually striking wise either, because Niedźwiedź is like pretty good on the feet. Like obviously it's not what he'd prefer to do, because we're going to talk about his wrestling in just a second, but like he's good enough on the feet, and Zieliński is just like a brawler. Like this guy he wants to make this as ugly as he possibly can, and Niedźwiedź is just going to find a moment. He's going to duck under one of those like overhand rights or hooks or whatever it is Zieliński's trying to brawl with, and he's going to score the takedown. Because Niedźwiedź, I really like his wrestling. He's got both double legs, he's got tricks, he doesn't use the single too much, but he uses a lot of different types of takedowns. And then on top of that, I think my favorite part of it is just that like he's able to pass guard so easily. Like he does such a good job of using his abilities to get out of the guard and to advance into places where he can land ground and pound. And like, as I said before, Zieliński is bad at getting back up. He settles into position. And then when he does get up, he's going to be risky. So we're going to see Niedźwiedź here pass to a side control or pass to a mount or something like that. And then you're going to see Zieliński give up his space. So I'm going to go with Niedźwiedź. Can't believe this is negative 175.
He's not just telling you how he's going to win. He's not who's going to be. He's telling you how he's going to win. He's telling you the line's good. So get that line steamed up, everyone, so no one else can enjoy it. All right, ruin it for everybody. We are cruising right along here. We're already to our co-main event. Ibragim Chuzhigaev. That's right. That would make sense. He's from Turkey. Turkish names.
Talked about him.
Yeah, I tend to butcher Turkish names, and he's probably the name I butchered before. Chuzhigaev versus Marcin Wójcik. He is from Poland. I'm getting some easy Polish ones this week, which I appreciate. Did I tell you what they're fighting at? They're fighting in a cage. 205, correct. Wójcik is the giant. You're not really a giant if you're only at 205. Then yeah, 20-10. 10 knockouts, 8 submissions. So we knocked out 5 times, submitted 4 times, 6-5 in KSW, loss over his last 3, 6-2 over his last 8, TKO'd in his last bout. 1-0 in PFL. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get all the good stuff. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at 185 and 216, the famous weight class, 216 pounds. 2007 Pro MMA debut, an inch of height over Chuzhigaev plus 220. Chuzhigaev is the million first. All right, Gumby. What is he talking about? What's the million first mean?
It's the million first or the million fist?
I thought it was fist too, and then I checked again. I'm pretty sure it said first. Yes, it says first. Fist would make sense.
I don't have any idea what that's about.
Someone let us know in the comments on YouTube, or hit us up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpockets.com/Discord. Maybe it's a Turkish thing we don't know about. And yeah, the million first is 19-5, 8 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted twice. 3-0 is KSW, and the former champion did not lose his belt. I think he just left the promotion because he fought outside the promotion at his last bout. Now he's back again. He's won 10 straight, 2 straight via submission. He's not lost since April 2017. He's fight at 185, 2012 Pro MMA debut. 2 years younger than Wójcik, an inch of reach on him, minus 275.
Yeah, I think Chuzhigaev was signed to PFL,
okay,
which is why they stripped him of his title. But then I think he had visa issues.
Yeah, he didn't fight.
And PFL agreed to mutually part ways with him. Okay. So then he took a tune-up fight, and now he's back. in KSW, and some reason not fighting for their title that he already had. They've got to be salty about him leaving.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, he's the favorite for a reason here. He actually opened a lot closer to even money. I think it was -200 when it opened. So it's kind of a shame that he's kind of gotten out of control with that one. But yeah, Chuzhigaev's the pick here. He's kind of a smaller light heavyweight. Like one of the things to like look out for him in the future would be, worrying about him being such a smaller guy, but it actually gives him a lot of advantages in this fight. Primarily the one I'm most interested in is just the speed advantage. He's really light on his feet for a 205er. I think he does a good job of getting in and out. He's got really good head movement for a light heavyweight. Like usually we see light heavyweights just like plodding forward and like begging people to punch him in the mouth. He's not that. He's quick. And then on top of that, like he's a pretty damn good wrestler too. We've seen him dominate fights that way if that's what he needs to do. I think he's the better striker than Wójcik here. So I expect him to strike on the feet until he needs it. And then on the Wójcik side, like, I mean, I don't mean to keep beating a dead horse with some of these people I'm picking against, but this is another guy who's got glaring issues with his wrestling defense. You go back and watch his fight in PFL with Mick Stanton, which by the way beats Mick Stanton, which is, good, but like badly out wrestled early in that fight. And then Mick Stanton just gassed out and pretty much just let him rear naked choke him. So like Wójcik was, if he was fighting somebody with cardio, which as I just said, Chuzhigaev, good pace, good cardio, good pressure, all those things. Like Wójcik would have never had an opportunity in that fight. So I'm going to take Chuzhigaev here. If you are interested on the Chuzhigaev side, get in on it as soon as possible because that number seems to be moving in the wrong direction.
All right. And once our people get on it, then they're going to really go in the wrong direction. Okay. But you're our people. So you make that line move. You move lines. All right. Let me tell you about Underdog. We haven't hit Underdogs in the past couple of plays, but Gumby started off with lots of Underdogs. But we're talking about Underdog Fantasy anyhow. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. We're giving away millions everywhere. All our ad reads are for millions and millions of dollars. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em. This is where I put Gumby on the spot, but he knows it by now because we've been doing it for years. Gumby, do you have a play for us?
Sure. I'll take the higher than on Paul Skeens' first inning strikeouts in the All-Star game. That's one of my favorite little tidbits there that Underdogs got for their pick'em is they've got a lot of stuff that's like just the first inning. So if you don't want to spend your whole day watching a Pirates game, and who would, you can play like the first inning, higher than on the first inning strikeouts for Paul Skeens. And he's going to be starting the All-Star game against Tarek Skubal. So I'm going to take the higher than on his strikeouts.
Is that this week already? The All-Star game?
Yeah, that's Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday. Whoa. Fantastic. All right. Check that out. That's basically the one All-Star game I think I enjoy watching of all the pro sports. So maybe because there's no physical contact, so the players don't really dog it like they do in other ones. But anyhow, Paul Skeens going to strike out the side, more than likely. Sign up with our promo code MMA-SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA-SGPN. Reason I didn't know it was this week because I thought they would have called me and asked me to play, but they haven't yet, so. Injury replacement, maybe?
It's too bad. Yeah, I think they already did all those injury replacements.
Really? Well,
if people are real up in arms about some of them.
If they need a catcher, I know a really good men's league catcher who just sweated about 15 pounds off his body today playing catcher, right?
Yeah, it's roughly that.
Roughly that. All right, Rhythm. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends, essentially the best of the best of what their house model has to offer. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. MLB Power Trends are 254 and 174. That's a win rate of 63% and a return on investment of 4.5% in the past 400 bets. That's fantastic. That's almost a Gumby level. WNBA Power Trends 35 and 20 since launch, 63.64 win rate, 28.7% ROI. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Did you? Paul Skeens, you don't need Power Trends for that. You know.
No. Yeah. But they've been helpful for when you were gone. I had to do some WNBA picks, and I've been sneaking some of them into to my Underdog Fantasy articles as well over on sportsgamblingpodcast.com, and it's because Power Trends makes it so easy.
Yeah, I gotta dive more in power trends. WNBA is kicking my ass this year so far. So get no consistency with it. So I'm gonna check out power trends. You can too with the 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpockets.com/rhythm. That's RTHMM. You have like a full catcher gear on when you play online baseball.
Yeah. It's fast pitch.
So
it's not softball.
Oh yeah, that's right. So hot. Whew. I'm just saying the weather. It's disgusting. Anyhow, all right, we're to our main event, Gumby. It fell through, but I think Adam Soldaev has had more than a month to prepare, so I'm not counting this as short notice. Adam Soldaev, he is from Poland. Leo Brichta is his opponent. He is from Czech Republic. These guys are fighting at 145, 3-5 in rounds. We're not talking any belts or anything on the line here in Poland, just pride. And I don't know, do they do other half of paychecks there? I don't really know their pay scale. I was gonna say the other
I have no clue.
I just know they pay good enough that people don't really leave. So that's a positive. All right, Soldaev, we're gonna tell you about first. Shahonker is the nickname. Chonker. I see we had an episode we named Chonker already, so I can't use that as one of our funny titles. I come across some of our old titles and it's like, what were we talking about that episode? It's interesting. All right, Chonker. I knew what we were talking about that one. We're talking about Adam Soldaev. He's 9-2, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's never been finished in a fight. That means he's durable. 4-1 in KSW. He's won 2 straight and 9 of 10. Has not lost since June 2023. Used to fight at 135. 2015 Pro MMA debut. He's at plus 105. So at least on paper, we're getting a close one in the main event. Brichta, 13-5. Or is it Brichta?
Brichta. Yeah.
Brichta, 13-5 with 1 no contest, 7 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out 1, submitted 3 times. 3-1 in KSW. He's won 1 of 2 and 3 of 5. TKO win in his last bout. Fought at 155, 170, and 185. 3-0 as a kickboxer, 1-0 in pro Muay Thai. 4 inches height, 6 inches of reach, so he's way bigger. Minus 138.
I'm going to close this one out with an underdog. I'm going to take Adam Soldaev. The thing about Brichta that makes me think Soldaev can catch him is that, you know, he's a kickboxer and he's really confident in his abilities when it comes to kickboxing, to the point where he like gets a little bit showy when people aren't touching him. Like when people swing and miss a couple of times and he like lands a leg kick or he lands a kick to the body, all of a sudden he's showy, hands down, dancing, you know, like kind of, you know, not full on dancing, you know what I mean, but like, you know, dancing in his stance and stuff.
He's not spinning around and twirling and dipping.
No. He's not a ballerina.
The Macarena.
Yeah, Macarena.
There's an old callback.
Go ahead and date yourself on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Soldaev. The thing about him is like he does have trouble finding the range early in fights. Like he throws a lot of like hooks and straights early in the fight where he's like not in range of his opponent. But then as the fight goes on, he starts to find homes for things, and he's got much more power than Brichta, in my opinion. And so like I could see the path to victory here for Soldaev just being, I'm gonna try to put pressure on him, and when he misses a bunch, Brichta just like lets his guard down, and Soldaev finally finds one to crack him, because when he does hit you, you're gonna go down. So you know, I like that from Soldaev. I also like that he kicks the legs a lot. I think that's a path here. I don't think either of these two are going to wrestle. I think we're going to mostly see this take place on the feet, but I think I also favor Soldaev in that avenue, although I think it'll probably just be a stalemate. So bottom line is I like Soldaev, and it's mostly just because I think Brichta will have early success, and he'll try to coax a little bit, and he'll get him caught.
All right. There you go. Don't go away yet. We have more for you. You got both the Avs on this card, so that's good. It's always a good thing. EVs, you always got to go in on those. He's got Soldaev and Chuzhigaev. He's got, I want to say Niedźwiedź, but it's Niedźwiedź. Yeah, Niedźwiedź. He's got Scheffel. He has got Guzik, correct?
Yeah.
Late round, Zap, Bam, Boom, Pow. We have a few more fights to choose from here.
Yeah, I got a couple that I like here. I like Victoria Zajzuska. Easy for me to say. She was supposed to fight Tamiris Vidal. So like the KSW clearly likes her. They had her in there with a UFC veteran in this fight, but Tamiris Vidal had to drop out. I haven't seen the odds on this one yet. I think because Vidal had dropped out and they hadn't found her replacement, but now that they have one for her, she's going to cruise. So like, she's probably just going to wind up being a good parlay piece. It might be like -400, but still Victoria Zajzuska. And then we're going to add Igor Wlodarczyk. That's WLODARCZYK.
Oh, why couldn't you let me say that one?
Yeah,
that's no fair.
Well, he's only, the reason we didn't talk about him is that he's he's only 22 years old and he's only 1-0. So he hasn't really fought much in his career yet. But I really love the jiu-jitsu out of this guy, and he had a ridiculously long amateur career. Like, I think he's one of those guys who had like 15, 16 AMI fights. So for my lightning round picks, that's Saizuska and Wladzik.
All right, he is all set, and he made it through the names. We both made it through the names together. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. We are in the Discord if you want to yell at us about the episode, but mostly it's all supporters in there, which we appreciate. That would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube is mostly people that used to be haters are coming around. I'm not going to name any names, but we have some people that used to give us horrible comments, and now it's all positive. So you can hit us up. What we take hate, I don't take hate for Gumby. You can put all the hate my way, and I will read it on air. That's the MMA Gambling Podcast. I don't read any Gumby ones because that's not nice. Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Brighter. They are on Instagram. Check out my Substack. I'll have another UFC contest running this week because we have another UFC pay-per-view this weekend. The pick'em contest is free to enter MMA Gambling Podcast. Money MMA. That's Substack.com. I told you I was tired today. Gumby's got another podcast. That is called Top Turtle. Who is on it this week, Gumby?
We are talking to Robert Valentin and Carly Giudice, who will both be fighting on the pay-per-view this weekend.
Oh, yes. Carly, where has she been, Gumby?
She fought not that long ago. She head kicked.
No, she's been out a year.
It's been a whole year.
I think so because I do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're going to the weeds here.
The head kick doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
It does seem. Anyhow, well, we'll talk about it soon because she's fighting soon. Anyhow, so Carly Giudice and sorry, who was the other? I got confused.
Robert Valentin.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Check out Top Turtle. It's always good. You can also check us out, of course, at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right, we're getting back tomorrow. We got back-to-back PFL episodes coming. PFL is, I was just doing the numbers for our episodes in June. PFL is still carrying the water for us, Gumby. People love PFL, at least.
Especially like the regional PFLs. Like the PFL Europe show wound up being, when you were gone, it was just me sitting by myself. One of our third most watched YouTube videos ever.
Yeah. Well, what does that tell you, Gumby? It was just you sitting there. So what does that tell you? Anyhow, you people will love PFL. Well, we have back-to-back PFLs. PFL Africa is kicking off, but it's not just their tournament. So there's actually some big name fighters on here. So we will talk about over the next two episodes, and then UFC pay-per-view. Until then, let me get the nicknames loaded up here. What will the nicknames be? Oh, of course, I am the 1,000,001st Jeff Fox. He is Boofa Vreeland. We'll talk to you tomorrow.